We're a baseball show. I always tell you. I always tell everyone, what do you do for? I have a baseball show, and we certainly do. Talking a little baseball with Kansas City Royals ace Cole Ragans, who's an absolute stud, striking everybody out. What does it feel like? They've got a little cross Missouri action going up against the Cardinals, I believe, this weekend. What's his ERA? Let's talk F4. Let's talk fantasy baseball. It's going to dabble in my humble beginnings. We're a basketball show sometimes too. We moonlight as one when Shams pops on. He was on yesterday talking about the NBA lottery. I wanted the 76ers. You pointed out Charlotte potentially getting the services of Cooper Flagg. No. Of course it was the Mavericks. Up in Adams, up in schedule release. I mean, everything's just getting released this morning. We're going to get into that. We have Broncos legendary tight end Julius Thomas. Maybe we'll talk a little Evan Ingram. We'll talk about their other tight end draft pick, what it means. Definitely get into a little Jags lore and what their future might hold in the AFC South. But yeah, like I said, it's a little baseball with Kansas City Royals ace Cole Ragans. Excited about that. We will talk about the lottery and what a night in the sports world, right? The Mavs win the services of Cooper Flagg. They won the lottery. They needed to, right? After all the hate Nico was getting, they had a 1.8% chance to acquire that pick, which is wild. But like they say, you can't win if you don't play. And there's always a little bit of a chance. A little Dumb and Dumber action there. The Timberwolves win. The Knicks win with every Kardashian in the world present, both of them now with a 3-1 series lead. Let's make it interesting in these game fives, people. New York a game away from stunning the defending champs, which is, Hamilton, I'll bring you right in. You think Bobby Flay isn't taken? Why are you laughing?
No, Bobby Flay's on cloud nine right now. I mean,
Bobby Flay's taken.
He's the only person that saw us coming. I didn't, as a big Knicks fan myself, like I didn't expect this, and that was a hell of a night.
Knicks fans, I mean, I saw what 7th Ave looked like last night, I wish I was there. No, I don't. But that was fun to sort of see. As a Knicks fan, do you expect this to happen? Are you expecting to lose somehow with the Jason Tatumless Celtics? Or how are you, what is the feeling? I'm not a Knicks fan. I don't know many Knicks fans. What are the feelings?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of optimism right now, being up 3-1, winning in the way that they've won with these big comebacks every single game. But I don't know. The Tatum injury almost makes me more nervous. With all the things that we've seen in the past, I am not celebrating anything until it's done.
You also think it'd be harder to celebrate watching Jason Tatum leave the court the way he did, but it wasn't for Knicks fans. Knicks fans had a moment of that's too bad, and then went out and disrupted Penn Station and all of Midtown, or lower Midtown, I guess. I don't even know where's the Garden, in the 30s. What do you even call that? Flatiron meets Midtown.
34th. Yeah.
Sure. So this all happened. Bobby Flay was not a Knicks fan who might think that, this isn't going to happen. He is balls to the wall. Let's go. And I want to show you guys the NBA Finals odds over on FanDuel Sportsbook, the only place you should be placing your bets and having a little fun there responsibly. The Knicks getting the second best odds to win the Finals behind only OKC at plus 500. Thunder tied 2-2 with the Nuggets right now. 10.5-point favorites at home in Game 5. Cavs down 3-1 in their series. 7.5-point faves tonight over the Pacers. What bets are you guys putting in? I want to know. Will you guys tweet me? Tweet me what you guys are dabbling in. What kind of bets? What looks spicy or interesting to you? Are you going to play it conservative? Are you going to do a little first basket action, which is fun because it's do or die right in those first couple seconds? You see the odds there. FanDuel has a 25% profit boost token for any NBA parlay tonight. Parlays are fun. Go ahead and do it. It needs to have 3 legs. It needs to have the odds be plus 100 or longer. So go check that out and have fun. I want to know what you're betting. It's not quite my area. So let me know what you guys think. And maybe I'll go have some fun on there too. 25% PBT for a parlay tonight. There's some NFL schedule news. is this like are we trying to jump people on the schedule news? Can't we all just wait until Christmas morning, which is tomorrow? But no, between last night and today, we know that we're getting a playoff rematch between the Eagles and the Packers week 10. So I'm not going to say, will the thing that rhymes with shmush mush, is it a thing still? Is it going to be legal? Is LaFleur gonna, lose his head if they do it again? Like, I don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen. Philly's gonna have some extra juice for that one, of course, with everything that's happened with Green Bay's fervent proposal to ban it. So I cannot wait to see what happens in that one, and I have a feeling that it'll be very, very meaningful. Ham, who has that game?
That's going to be on ESPN Monday Night Football.
ESPN Monday Night Football. Good to know. And then holiday games, thanks, Ham. Netflix has a Christmas doubleheader. Again, those games revealed tomorrow. And then Amazon comes in on Christmas Day on the 25th. It's Broncos and Chiefs at Arrowhead. So Mahomes keeps playing on Christmas. He did it last year. This year, Christmas night. Perfect chance for Denver, by the way, to break out the all-white snow-capped unis, as if this is something that I thought about. Matthew, what the hell is this?
We got to get those in. That alternate white helmet, the all whites. It's perfect for Christmas Day. They were made for Christmas Day.
I'm just a puppet for you at this point. He puts these notes in this document that I have open, and he's like, mention the snow-capped white unis. Sure, that's something that, anytime that kind of comes up on the show, that's Matthew Hamilton using me as a puppet to further his uniform agenda. He runs the fashion, what is it called, the Twitter thing?
I wish I ran that. The NFL fashion advice account, I wish I ran that.
You do run that. Not only are you setting your fantasy baseball team every day, you're also tweeting from that account. But this is a week 17 bout. Okay. That's a big game. Snow-capped unis, all whites or not, like playoff implications, AFC West implications, division implications. And by the way, there's already odds for this one because the only pups that are sicker than Matthew Hamilton are the old overlords at FanDuel with their abacuses and their pie charts, okay? Because the odds are open and they're here. Chiefs 4.5-point favorites as of today in that one. Take that, Broncos. Take that, Broncos. Use that as fuel. There's Bears, Eagles. We know that. A lot of Eagles love, of course. They're the Super Bowl champions. They're the ones with the targets on their back. Bears, Eagles, Black Friday. 4 official games revealed, 3 of them standalone ones for the defending champs. Big spot for Chicago. We got a new regime, the buzzy head coach. It's late enough in the season that I'm excited already. Late enough in the season where it will be meaningful and they will maybe be at their peak and you won't be able to make excuses for the Bears, So the odds on this one, Eagles open as 6.5-point favorites there. If you want to dabble, you should do it on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's an international slate open, okay? We have all the info that you need here. There's games in 5 different countries. The NFL takeover has officially, it's in its heyday, okay? Commanders Dolphins in Madrid. That's November. That jumps out because it's very fun. First ever Madrid game. I love it. Vikings have an interest in this one because I like the schedule here. They get the Steelers in Dublin, and then they get to hang around to be in Europe and take in the sights because they face the Browns in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium that next week. I feel like, is this exciting? Is this good for my Vikings Super Bowl? Is this an excuse for them, Hamilton?
I don't know. On one hand, at least they get to stick around and get acclimated over there for a couple of weeks. It is an interesting thing that they just started doing a couple of years ago, having teams hang around and play back-to-back games overseas. They are favored. Odds did just come out for all of these international games as well, by the way. They are favored in both. They're 2.5-point favorites over the Steelers, 7-point favorites over the Browns in that one.
I wonder how that changes if the Steelers, of course, add a quarterback, or if the Vikings do. Who knows what's going to happen? However, that's super interesting. I would say this, it's not an excuse because I think you'd rather play the Steelers. I don't know the conditions in Dublin, but if you're the Vikings, I don't really want to play. Would it be in Pittsburgh, or how does that all shake out? Or would it be in Cleveland if they were home?
Yeah, so it looks like for both of those would have been road games. So that's kind of how they all
Nobody
said that
likes
as well.
playing in Cleveland. They got that lake, that wind chill. Every player complains about it. It's a huge advantage for the Browns, and it's always finicky and weird, so I don't love that. So therefore, ergo, you're getting a lot. You're getting a gift here, Vikings fans. You're literally getting a gift that you don't have to go play in Pittsburgh or Cleveland. You're going to play in neutral territory with just drunk, fabulous people. So I think this is an advantage, and this only adds to me expecting you to win the Super Bowl. Okay. And it's not, by the way, Hamilton, this isn't, I mean, do I want them to win the Super Bowl? Sure. Would I love it because it's such a tortured franchise? Absolutely. But it's more like, no, you better. I'm putting what I never do. I'm putting all the heat on them. All right here. Oh, I don't know what's going on. My Zoom is on the air. Okay. Yeah, I'm putting it's an expectation because it's all there. Yeah. Secondary is a thing. I get it. I'm with you guys on the secondary. That might be something to poke a hole at. And we need to see a little bit of. But, when you're not bringing in Aaron Rodgers, who could likely take this team far the way that it's built because there are no holes and they are brilliantly led and brilliantly built. And have all the talent in the prime of the biggest superstar in the NFL, Justin Jefferson's career. If you don't go out and get Aaron, then you better win it with JJ. That's how I feel. Because if they don't win it with JJ, then I will look back potentially and say, well, you could have won it with Aaron. And I don't want to have those kind of thoughts. So that's sort of how I feel. The roster's ready to go. They've got a rebuilt O-line. I was tweeting about this yesterday. Aggressive playmaking defense. So... Sam takes you to 14. Is JJ an upgrade on Sam Darnold? Yes. They would have kept Sam if not. We're talking big games. They clearly think JJ, without playing a snap in the NFL, is going to take them where they need to go. And everybody tweeting, everyone tweet. Let's take a look at some of these actually. Hamilton, want to key these up? What do we got? Oh, there we go. Only excuse is because they are literally the Minnesota Vikings. Okay. And here's Mike who says the history of Minnesota sports. And this is a Vikings fan. And this one, they will never win a Super Bowl. It's written in the stars. Okay. And then there's this one playoff win since Brett Favre. I loved this one. Don't understand the hype. I mean, that's not factually accurate either, but that's a whole other story. But I want to say this. If you're using history to tell me why the 2025 Vikings can't get it done, I understand you. But you can miss me with that. Okay. I get it. And the level of torture of this fan base it surpasses every other one. Okay. Literally every other fan base throughout the years. Give me the Bears, give me the Jets. I think it's worse. Okay. But these labels and these perceptions, they're only true until they aren't, because you can't forget the Eagles were cursed too. It can never happen. Okay. They win an NFL championship in 1960. 58 years and 51 Super Bowls came and went without a single Lombardi to show. And then who shows up? St. Nick. Okay, this kid, what is happening? This was crazy. Jalen Hurts after him. And now there are two of those bad boys in that trophy case. It's all true. The labels, the curses, until they aren't. Do I have to sit here and remind you that the Chiefs were the team that can't win the big one for literally 50 years until Mahomes got there? 50, okay? And if we want to go beyond the NFL, and we should, as we are a baseball show, who is more cursed than the Cubs and the Red Sox? It's hard to get worse than Bartman. I can't even, I just said his name. Bartman and Bill Buckner. And they've even won, okay? So to bring it full circle, how about a Michigan program that lost 6 straight major bowl games? Got their asses kicked by Ohio State in every big game and hadn't sniffed a natty for over 25 years until who came around? And then they went 15-0 and brought it home for them. My point is, and I'm sorry that I'm on one with this, but these tweets were insane. First of all, talking about curses and negative, you're just manifesting that. So joke's on you, you idiots who are not, looking past that, or not willing and being on board for good things. Curses and labels and whatever else you want to say, it's always a thing until it isn't. It's not a valid excuse. It's not a valid reason. So this Vikings team with this quarterback, they're built differently. And if you're in on the Vikings, as I am, and you think, yeah, they better win the Super Bowl, they've got to win the Super Bowl, the value is there for you. Until, by the way, the Sharks love to mess with me and change odds after I make a brilliant point. So just, make sure you get in on this right now. Plus 152 to make the playoffs, which gives them the 15th longest odds there. Plus 470 to win the NFC North, which is behind the Lions and Packers. Plus 1,500 to win the NFC behind the Bucks and Niners. And they're plus 2,900 to win the Super Bowl, which is tied for 12th with the Chargers and Broncos right now. Tied for 12th is disrespectful. Okay? Disrespectful. So whatever you want to make with that, enjoy. Go to FanDuel Sportsbook. I like the odds right now. And I like our guests today as well. We have 2-time Pro Bowl tight end. We got little Broncos, little Jags, little Dolphins in the mix. Julius Thomas on the show. Cole Ragans of the Kansas City Royals coming up. Thanks.
So I have news for you already. You mentioned how, they like to change things based on what you say. The Vikings yesterday morning had the longest odds to win the NFC North. They moved up ahead of the Bears after what you said.
What are we? Hold on. That was all kind of a blur. Yeah. You're telling me that yesterday the Vikings had worse odds than the Bears to what?
To win the NFC North.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? The Vikings fan base is wild. I was actually surprised by all the pushback on JJ McCarthy and the hedging of that. It's like, no, we're not going to do that. You guys made my Akoba, he's a winner thing, go off. Oh no, I have a missed call from a Minnesota number's calling me. Oh shit. Who do you think's calling me?
I don't know. It's Kevin O'Connell telling you to stop.
Maybe.
Stop putting these expectations on them.
If I was them, I'd be like, oh, shut up. But I think it's more of like is it like a backhandy thing I'm doing? I don't know. I just know that I can't think of an excuse. I had Kevin O'Connell on the show and I literally could not think of a reason.
Yeah. The roster's loaded. It's there. Yeah. We also had other big news that just happened. Trey Hendrickson showed up at Bengals OTAs.
What?
Yeah. He's going to speak to the media about his contract situation today, apparently, is the report. So he's there. That's a good sign.
I wonder if they love when he speaks in general. I have a feeling, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm going to shut up now. Wait, I mean, that's a good sign that he's there, right?
Yeah, has to be.
I don't know. Actually, I truly don't know.
Yeah.
They have to get it done.
Have to.
They got to do the right thing. I'm talking Bengals. Bengals got to do the right thing and pay him. Anybody saying anything else? Look at the numbers. Look at the world. Look what he did. He did last year on good faith. People business. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, Smiles.
Ready, set, go! He throws him over the middle, and it's Thomas, the man of the hour. Thomas is the hot receiver. It's as good as it gets. It's caught by Thomas. Julius Thomas. Get a touchdown.
Julius, I miss you. 2-time Pro Bowl tight end, formerly of the Broncos, the Jags, the Dolphins, founder of Optimal Performance. Julius, how are you?
I'm doing well, and I miss you as well. And I've been so excited to see you because the last time we talked, I think I made a bit of a prediction that may or may not have, it may have played out really well for me.
What was it?
Last time I was on your show, we talked about Bo Nix, and there was a little uncertainty around that pick for the Broncos. And I said, just wait on it. I think people in Broncos country are going to be really happy about how that pick turns out in a few months. And I may have patted myself on the back a little bit.
And you should, because there were a lot of questions. And I remember just about the Broncos, like nobody was giving them their due. They're like, I think it was 7.5. Like the people didn't think they didn't win anything. And then they did what they did. What did you know about Bo? And congratulate, and I take a victory lap. I love that. What did you know about him, Julius, that maybe the rest of the world didn't?
Well, I think the two of the things that are most important, and I mean, I spent a good portion of my life catching passes. And so one of the things you're really looking for as a pass catcher is you want to know a person that can come in and learn a system all the way down to the nuts and bolts, understand all the complexities that go into an NFL offense. And the other thing you're looking for is athleticism. And then I would also say, accuracy and then some athleticism, right? So you look at Bo Nix, you look at his career, how he's been able to play at different universities, master those systems, be accurate no matter where he's been. And then he has enough athleticism to extend the play, roll out a little bit. You think about that profile of a quarterback with Sean Payton, and you go, come on, like the writing is on the wall here. We just got to let them work. And it was amazing to see the year that he had. I'm excited for the Broncos offense. You see my football right here. It's been a long time since we were prolific on that side of the ball. So I'm really happy for them and how they were able to play last year.
It's funny because in retrospect, everyone's saying, of course, Bo Nix. Like, Bo Nix was fantastic. But you said this before he even played a snap, a game. And that's amazing. I love how there's a basketball jersey in back of you as well, yours, which is amazing. When it comes to Bo, and we should have flagged that, and I'm sorry, we should have watched that interview and seen that you had predicted that. I totally forgot. Did you think, if we were being honest now, you knew he'd be good? I have to go watch that interview. But did you think he'd be that good?
So, you never know how that first rookie year was going to go. And I think that I may have said, it may not happen right away, but it's going to happen. But I mean, the way he showed up, the poise he played with, I mean, one of the biggest things that irritates me about pro sports, and this is basketball, baseball, football, you name it. Now there's like a knock on a pro athlete that played all 4 years, is like 25 years old. Like, oh, are they too old? Oh, are we missing out on all the potential of getting a young player? And I'm like, wait, we want people that can come in and they can play their position and they can do things the right way. I don't have a problem with a 25-year-old quarterback. So what? He's a little bit older. That shouldn't be a knock on their potential at the professional level. So I wasn't sure quite when he was going to break out, but I was very confident that he was going to be able to. And I'm so much more excited about how he's going to be in year 2, like how much more settled, understanding of the NFL, understanding of that offense. I also said Sean Payton has a lot of complexity in what he likes to do. And I think we're going to start seeing the complexity show up this year.
And what is the plan with these tight ends? Because he brings in Evan Engram, very, skilled, talented, of course, like physical traits. He comes in early. He comes in free agency. And then, of course, they draft this Loner kid as well, who, by the way, Caleb Loner, former basketball playing tight end. So, of course, he's getting comps to you. How do you feel about that?
Well, number one, I love it. I love seeing guys that it takes a lot of courage to switch switch sports, because you've got so much to learn. Like, you're really putting yourself out there. So I'm always going to be rooting for tight ends, and especially hoopers that make that switch. But it's challenging. I've even heard like the comparisons of Jimmy Graham myself, right? Like, that's a lot to put on the guy. I think 7th-round draft pick, just getting into it, didn't play a ton of snaps in college. So I would say be patient there. But I think he had like a touchdown almost on all his receptions last year. And so if you give Sean Payton a red zone threat, have him running seams, have him run a couple fades. I think if he's able to understand the game, that Sean Payton knows how to mix that type of athlete in. But then you get in a proven veteran like Evan Engram, that you know what you're going to get. I love the way he runs routes. I like the way he positions himself on the field. And giving Sean Payton 2 possible dynamic tight ends, it can be pretty special. And I'm sure that Bo won't be complaining about it either.
I mean, how much do you think that'll help him? And I'm thinking, everything I read about this Loner, and I get to meet him this weekend, which I'm excited about. It's just he wants to learn. And so, that's got to be part of it, right? The mastermind of Sean and George saying, we're going to bring in Evan, been here, done that. He can soak it up. Because there is this transition period, and like, you didn't pop off your rookie year. So it's almost this patient. It took you a couple of years to really get it to whatever at the tight end spot, coming from that basketball background. What would you say? What would be your advice if he didn't want to have a slow start or a slower start to his NFL career? What would you tell him?
I would say that, talk with your coaches and find out what you need to be best at right away to get on the field, right? Because there's a big menu. There's so much you have to learn at the tight end position. It's impossible to get really good at all that right away. So just find out, like, hey, what are the things you need me to be good at right now? If I was him, I would say get great at running the seam. That's what Jimmy Graham, he crushed it. I mean, he was setting records with the Saints when he was running up those seams. I know that that's a threat that Sean Payton wants to utilize. So I would tell him to start understanding coverages, start understanding leverages, and understand how to manipulate your defender so that Bo can always count on you up those seams, whether it's single high, two high. You really create the throwing lane sometimes when there's nothing there with the ability to be 6'7" and get off the ground. So I would tell him, man, concentrate on the seams, understanding coverages, and really working by slipping past linebackers. But I'm sure his coaches are telling him that as well.
Got it. Did you catch any of the lottery news last night?
Yeah. This last year, I came on as a mental performance specialist for the San Antonio Spurs. So got a chance to work with them all year. Love just being with that franchise and helping them out. So it was really exciting to see us grab that second pick. But yeah, I always keep one thumb in the basketball world.
I mean, what did you make? What was your reaction about the Mavs winning the draft lottery?
Man, I just think all it's going to do is continue to sound this conspiracy theory around the NBA. It's so interesting that conspiracy theorists are like really talking about pro sports. Like last year it was the Chiefs. It's like, what's the NBA and the trade for Luka, and now the Mavericks getting the number one pick. I don't personally believe that pro sports, like those conspiracy theorists are right, but it is ironic. And I think if I'm Nico Harrison, I'm extremely happy that things broke that way because he needed a win.
He definitely needed a win, and we love that. And I guess, like, is it enough? Like, I don't know enough about basketball. You come from basketball, you know all that. Like, will getting Cooper Flag make up for the Luka trade?
I think only time will tell. If he's able to have the career that some people think he could have, then maybe it makes up for it. It depends on what happens with Luka and the Lakers, right? Like everybody is going to wait till after the fact to really make a decision on was it enough to make up for it. But I think it's a great start. You're bringing in a tremendous athlete. One thing I flagged, though, and this is just a little insight that I think about, is I think Cooper Flag is supposed to be projected to play like the 4 spot, which is where Anthony Davis wanted to play. And I think it was like one of his biggest opportunities going to the Mavericks. And now it's like, oh man, is AD going to have to get shifted back to the 5? So there's those things to think about. But I think Cooper Flag's a phenomenal athlete, and I'm sure they won't be mad about getting the number 1 pick.
People want to bring the draft lottery to the NFL. Your thoughts?
I'm okay with it. I think
Really?
the draft lottery is good because you can't purposely tank, right? Like that was the reason why they started the draft lottery. I think it creates some excitement, right? Like we know one thing about the NFL, they're always looking for something to create excitement around the game. Could you imagine them doing like a draft lottery like a week before the draft, or like, I don't know when they would do it, but that could be a 2-day event of itself, right? The TV, the advertising. I mean, you put those kind of ideas out there into the universe, and I'm sure that the NFL would be opposed to picking up on it.
Tell me more. I mean, I'm all for it. I kind of understand it. I kind of don't, but it sounds very exciting, and the entire world like flipped upside down, which I think the NFL would probably love. And of course, adding dates to, I mean, look, a schedule release is like a high holiday around here. You know the business side of it, looking back at your career as well. I'd like to know what you do with the Spurs, more about that. I think it's a fun time, or not a fun time, but an interesting time in the history of that organization with everything that's going on with Pop. What does it feel like around there now?
One of the things that I've been committed to since walking away from the game is understanding mental health. And, for the last 7 years, I feel like a broken record saying, I'm focusing on my doctorate in psychology, but I'll officially be done sometime this fall. So excited about that journey and what I've been able to learn. But one of the things that gave me this passion was when I got to sit around with a lot of tremendous athletes, a lot of young men, and you can see the things that people go through. And I always wanted to be able to support other professional athletes. So getting an opportunity to come in and support people that are young in their professional journey and just be in their corner is something that's really meaningful for me. obviously, some things that were unexpected pop and having that health issue. And, it's hard, right? Because in sports, it's dealing with the change and finding different ways to process that, stay focused on what you have to do, while also at the same time supporting the people that matter to you. And everybody loves Pop in San Antonio. That's what I've learned. He's earned it. He's such a great human being, right? You can just go places and people will tell you stories about the different things he's done and how memorable that was for them. So I know that this is a big change, but the incoming head coach, Mitch Johnson, he's a great guy, a tremendous basketball mind. I'm really excited for him and this opportunity that he has.
What have you learned about yourself in this role and being this support for these younger guys, different generation, different adversity, but still the same?
Yeah, it's true, right? Like one of the things I've learned is I'm starting to get a little bit older, especially working in basketball, and everybody there is, early 20s. So that's a little bit different. They grew up at a different time. But the other thing is because of social media and how much more that allows people to, in some ways, interact with athletes, you start to see that how that changes what athletes experience, right? And I think we've heard it at the college level, we've heard it at the pro level now, and more athletes are being more vocal about some of the things that they're reading about themselves and they're hearing. And those can be challenges, right? And the other thing I think about, especially in the NBA, is the demands and the pressures to perform and to be able to help your team at a high level. It's such a young age, right? We talk about, the younger is better train that's happening in sports, but now we're putting more of that stuff on people in their early 20s, where in the past, maybe, by the time you got to 25, 26, 27, then they're saying, okay, we need you to pull the franchise. We need you to turn, add wins to the season. But, these are a lot of really young men and they're human. And I think that that's one thing that I'm able to see that maybe that fans don't always think about when you're thinking about your bets or your fantasy, and just being there for young guys that are on a journey that have a lot on their shoulders and trying to be in their corner.
It's amazing. And I love that you're doing that in the NBA. We could use you in the NFL, please. And maybe one of these several teams that you are so close to. Talk to little Broncos. With the Jags, you're saying that this journey, Trevor Lawrence has been on a journey, a winner, of course, gets into the NFL, some adversity, changes the guard, all of that. And things are really looking up. I don't want to overhype it, but you bring in Liam Cohen, right? Second overall pick, Travis Hunter, bring in the juice. What are your expectations for Trevor Lawrence this year?
Well, I think one thing you always have to think about is when you have leadership changes, right? So many people, they underestimate the challenges that come when you have changes at the top. And if you hear players that have played for a long time, they'll often tell you that was the most frustrating parts of their career is if you have changes as a head coach or coordinator or GM, this really starts to change the way that your day-to-day operations work, right? And it doesn't always mean that it's going to be worse, wishing the Jags the best and hoping that the changes that they made are ultimately beneficial for them. But that's hard, right? And so if you're a quarterback, and if there's any system changes, any things like that, that's something that you have to work through and you have to master something else. So I would say that you be patient, even though I'm sure Jags fans don't want to hear that. But, you bring in young players, you're able to get some really talented individuals on the field, but it takes more than that, right? There's a cohesiveness that you can't underestimate.
I asked you a vague question, so I got a little bit of a vague answer. So that's a little bit on me, but I would like to press you a little bit on Trevor Lawrence, MVP type season vibes, come out playoff vibes. What are we saying here? Or patience, you think it's not. They need the year to be more cohesive, and then let's launch next season.
Yeah, well, MVP vibes. We're talking about the quarterback position right now, which I think that we're seeing some of the best quarterback play that we've seen in a long time. Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. There are so many people that are playing at a high level. So to say that Trevor Lawrence can have an MVP type season, I think that's a really big ask. And then, also playing in the AFC, right? That's not going to be an easy conference to make the playoffs in. All right. And so I would say that keep the expectations very moderate. Let the Jags play themselves into expectations, but don't
Yeah.
throw it on them before the season starts. I don't think that's going to be helpful for them from a brain standpoint. But I also think you have to earn expectations, and it
Yeah.
can't just be, oh, well, we paid you this, and this was your draft. That's how you were selected in the draft. Oh, you should just be here now. No, you got to earn them
Julius,
through how you
it is
play.
going to be hard. It's smart and like let's undersell and over deliver, but you have Travis Hunter on that team. So if you think they're going to have moderate expectations for anything, it's not going to happen. But I understand what you're saying, and I wish that everybody had that same temperament. We're going to take a break, but before we get off the TV side, and I'd like to keep you for the YouTube side, can you tell me a little bit more about Optimal Performance? I know you're committed to helping wellness, performance. What do we have going on at Optimal?
Yeah, no, this is something that it's kind of become my baby. Becoming a founder now is a different journey for me and transition in my life. But I'm very committed to using science to bridge the gap between performance and wellness. I think that you see it so much in sports that our performance actually sits on top of our well-being. But a lot of the work I do with different organizations, like you don't see that so much on the business side, and trying to help individuals understand how to create those team dynamics, how to be able to work through the challenges that are just inherent. They come up in life for all of us, and to be able to do it in a way where you stay locked in and you're mentally performing in the best possible capacity for yourself and your organization. It's tricky, but I love that space. I love working in it. And I'm really excited to be able to step full time into that role as a founder and CEO when school's done, and just continue to find creative ways and innovative ways to help teams be their best, but without sacrificing what I like to talk about a lot is the cost of performance, and your mental health, physical health, emotional health, and relational health sometimes suffers because of the goals that we have.
OptimalPerformanceSystem.com for that short TV break here. We're still live on YouTube. I have two questions. I actually have like 7, but I want to ask you about Von Miller.
Yep.
Your old pal. Still out there, still looking. I talked to him a couple of months ago, saw him down in Mexico. Can you envision this Broncos reunion? Are you brokering it? Like, what are we doing?
It's funny because I was actually with an old teammate of mine that I played on the Jags with the other day, and we were talking about Mercedes Lewis, right? And
I can't. All I want to talk about is Mercedes Lewis. I love this.
So he's had one of the longest careers that I've ever seen. His longevity, his ability to continue to get his body prepared to do that is amazing. And, I give him so much respect for that. And, for Von, I think it would be a good close to his chapter, right? I know how much Denver meant to Von. I know how much it hurt when he left Denver. And I mean, we saw the videos. We know what that experience was like for him. So whatever capacity that could be like, right? Like setting the expectations for him, his role, like, leave that to the franchise and the coaches. But man, I know it would mean so much for him to run out of that tunnel. I know that I've even heard different things about how he would love to just live in Denver when his career is over. So ingratiating him back into that community where he was one of the best football players I ever had a chance to see. I think that would be a great storyline.
From the team, does he still have it is the question that I'd ask, like you're.
It's all right.
with Julius Thomas. My computer froze as I wish we were frozen in time. You know, I wish you were back on the field. And you mentioned Mercedes Lewis. And I find him so fascinating. And I went on and on about him because this is a guy, he's trying to go on year 20. Okay. He hasn't hung it up. As far as I know, I don't see any retirement paperwork out of your former teammate. Spent the last year with the Bears. Where do you want to see him play?
You know, to be honest, if he wants to continue playing, I want to see him playing wherever somebody's going to value him and what he can still bring to the game. I don't know if I have a particular place in mind, but let's just go with the same thing.
Julius, pick
right?
a place.
Let's have Sadie's go back to Jacksonville and get the right send off that he deserves. Like beginning his career there, all the years that he gave to that franchise, and being able to have that opportunity to finish what he does where it started. I don't know. I just always think that's a great storyline, right? And I think that sometimes what we can offer the fans is not always just about production, right? It's also like the feel good pieces that make us human beings like interested in what we're watching and what we're committing our time to, right? So Broncos, bring back Vaughn. You were saying like before your computer kicked me off because, you know, I just wasn't engaging enough.
That's not true.
Does he have it? I mean, does Vaughn have a couple great rushes in him a game? Absolutely. Now, does he need to play 60 snaps? I don't know. That's up to them. That's up to Vaughn. But do I think he can still get to the quarterback? Sure. I think there were some plays in last year's playoffs where, that's not a bad play for somebody that is been coming off the edge as long as he has. So I believe that both of them can still do it. They're two of the best athletes I've ever seen.
I think Mercedes and Aaron have like oh, no, you don't. I'm going to play longer than you between him and Rodgers. I think that they literally are. Yeah, you're nodding. I think that is a thing that is happening, which is amazing. I think we have to say bye to Julius now, right? Is that true? Oh, we're going to say bye. Julius, I appreciate you so much. We'll talk to you. Thank you for all the work you do. Sorry, I don't know about the Spurs. I'll be better next time.
It's all right, Kay. So great to see you. Thanks for having me on. Can't wait till next time.
Great to see you. All right, back on the Up and Adams show. Big thanks to Julius Thomas for the patience, the introspection, all of that. We talk a lot of NFL on this show. Did you know we're a baseball show? We are. And my next guest is an all-star starting pitcher for the Kansas City Royals. Cole Ragans, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. I'm excited to switch gears from, my NFL stuff. I want to talk FWAR and ERA and all the things, but I really want to get to know you a little bit better. All-star season last year, learned all about you the past 24 hours. Best frickin' strikeout rate in baseball this season. I always ask pass rushers, what is it like to steal the soul from a quarterback? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? What does it actually feel like to strike someone out? Take me through every sec.
Oh man, that's I don't really know what the feeling is. It just depends on the situation more so. Sometimes you want to like yell at the top of your lungs. Sometimes you just have thoughts running through your head and you just kind of walk off straight faced. I don't know. It just kind of depends.
What do you say in your head after you you strike someone out, you hit them with one of those nasty sliders and you've been doing it like regularly, like it's absolutely insane. Top 5 in strikeouts in all of MLB, 10 plus strikeouts in 4 of your starts this season. No other pitcher in the entire biz has more than 2, which is absolutely insane. So you hit somebody with like a nasty slider, you strike them out. What is the first thing what do you say in your head? Do you just go like, got him? Like, what is the thing that you say?
Sometimes probably not the best things go through my head. Sometimes it's just like, that's a pretty good pitch. So it kind of varies. Like, it's like, when I scream, I'm screaming like, let's go, or, something like that. So it just kind of depends on the situation that I'm in.
Yeah. Cole, who's the most satisfying guy to strike out?
Oh man. It has to be like a guy that never strikes out. So like if you can get like Steven Kwan or Luis Ariz or, somebody that walks a lot, has a really good eye. I feel like those guys are like, they're so hard to strike out that you have to execute so well that it's nice when you finally get them because they put the ball in play at such a high rate.
Yeah, I thought you were just going to go for like the big superstar to shut everybody up. But like Aaron Judge strikes out a lot, so he's not. So he's not. So Aaron Judge, ipso facto, is not very satisfying to strike out.
I mean, the thing is he can turn around and hit a ball 700 feet off me as well. So, yeah, no, I mean,
That must have felt pretty good, Cole. This must have felt pretty freaking cool.
I mean, is that the playoffs? I assume?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big. I think I walked the first two guys, so it was just, needed an out right there. So try to get a ground ball or a strikeout, something like that.
What's the first thing in your head in that very play? Are you swearing in your head? Is it like F yeah? Is it like sit the F down? Like, what are you saying?
In that one, I'm probably more so like, all right, we got one out now. I'm already like transitioning into like the next guy because it's like I have two guys on in the first inning. I have one out. So it's like I need these outs. I've already thrown probably 12 or 15 pitches and I have one out. Like I need to get a ground ball or something.
You're already on to the next. Can't be too high, can't be too low. I love that. You take the mound on Friday against your intra-state rivals, I guess, even though different leagues and stuff, the Cardinals, right? Here's my big question for you. What boots are you going to be wearing?
How do you know about this? Oh, man.
What? Tell me about the boots, Cole.
I'll probably... I don't know. Probably I have some like cherry alligator ones that I wear that I'll probably, it's either those or I have a pair of like tan pythons. So depends on what pair of pants I wear.
Got it. So there's like pant vibes too. I heard, so everyone understands, I heard a rumor, which is true, that you just corroborated. You wear amazing boots on start days. You even inspired another teammate to wear fancy boots on your start days. Why do you wear the boots and how did this thing start?
I don't know how it like came about. Like I've always kind of liked boots, and then the older I've gotten, I've started like adding to my collection of boots and getting a little bit more exotic and stuff like that. So it's just turned into start day. I like to dress a little nicer, and I have a few pair of boots that I wear. And then you got Vinny, who started wearing jeans and boots. I got him to buy a pair, and I've gotten a few of the guys to buy a pair of boots, and there's a couple guys that I'd already worn that have already, they have quite a few pair and they wear them as well.
I think it's diabolical that you would wear cherry red boots the day you're taking on the St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, it's like a dark cherry. It's not like a super... I don't care.
I love that about you. I love that. I love that about you. And then now I think Royals and Royals fans, and I love going to Royals games. I love it. I remember first time I went, it was the All-Star game like so many years ago. Carl Crawford and who else? Adam Jones and all these fun guys. But like McCutcheon. But like I love that ballpark. Here's what we need. We need on start days for Cole. Can we start wearing boots and jeans? Everybody would you like that, or would you say whoa, whoa, whoa?
Oh no, I think it'd be actually pretty cool if everybody started wearing boots and jeans. That'd be funny.
Yeah, let's absolutely do that. Now, if I got these boots, how many people would I strike out?
Maybe a lot. Maybe not a lot. I don't know. I've had days where I've struck out a lot. I've had days where I've struck out nobody, but
well, you're striking everybody out. It looks like and sounds like, and you're a lefty and I'm a lefty, so I love a southpaw. We don't have enough southpaws in the NFL, I always say. Your GM or your manager, your skipper, Matt said this, that you're on the verge of one of those streaks where you run off 6, 8, 9 really, really good starts in a row. No pressure, Cole. No pressure from your manager there. What is he seeing in you right now?
I mean, I feel like I'm super close to where I need to be. The results haven't been great the past few, but still getting the swing and miss. My walks aren't terrible. I just need to cut down some pitches. Basically, it comes down to executing with 2 strikes is the biggest thing. So just trying to refine that and execute better with 2 strikes.
I love that. I hear you have notebooks. You have notebooks of every outing you've pitched over the past 4 years. Where do you keep them?
So I have this year's that obviously is still, it's only got this year's stuff. I travel with last year's, in case I need to look back on some notes,
Wow.
Something that I have a question on, to myself about, all right, I threw well against these guys last year. What was my game plan going in? So kind of go look at what I wrote down about those guys last year. And then the 2 years before that, they're at home. I don't travel with those just because it's like, I feel like I have all the notes I need in last year's. And so it's just travel with the year before. So like next year I'll travel with this year and so on and so forth.
Cole, are you telling me that you have a notebook from your days on the Frisco Rough Riders, and you've got take me to you facing the Amarillo Sod Poodles back in 2021? What did that notebook say about Geraldo Perdomo when you faced the Diamondbacks in July?
I have no idea what it says, but it's somewhere at the house, I guarantee you.
Okay. I love it. And I love that it helps you. I mean, there's something, I'm sure the Royals have somebody on staff to tell you how you did against these guys, but I think it's very cool that you have this like old school kind of way of doing that. Now, the Royals have the second best earned runs average in all of baseball. Everyone's pitching great. How competitive does it get between you guys? Is it one-upping each other every start? What's the competition like?
Definitely competition, a healthy competition. It's, everybody wants to build off of everyone. We're a super close group. And so it's just, pushing each other and competing with each other in the sense, but not like, it's like a healthy compete. Like everybody wants to do so good. So it's just, watching how this guy went about his outing and what did he do that worked well if you're facing the same team and that kind of stuff. So it's a really fun group to be a part of. I mean, those guys, it's like a perfect mix of Waka, Lugo, Lorenzen, who've been around for, 10 plus years. And then you have me and Bubich, who have, half of the time or less, half the time of what they have. And so it's just like, but me and Bubich are the only two lefties. So if we face the same team, we're sitting back, watching, seeing how we went about it. But we always talk after whoever the starter was when they come out of the game. We always talk about, the game plan and what they saw and how they went about it and stuff like that.
Do you ever see Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce taking batting practice over there?
I do not. I have not seen them.
Really?
No, I have not.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't. I'm waiting for the day that they come over to take BP, but no, I have not seen them.
If he had 10 at bats against you, Patrick, how many hits does he get?
He hasn't swung a bat in a long time, so I'm going to say 0.
I love that. I was going to ask you a little bit about Bobby Witt, obviously robbed of his MVP to that filthy striking out Aaron Judge last year. You see him every day. He's on his way to another All-Star season. When you face him or like in practice, whatever it is, when you watch him, what makes him, from your perspective, so tough for pitchers?
I don't even know if words really explain how good he is. It's like there's just like things he does that are just, he makes look very easy that are not easy in the slightest. Like he's the same guy every day, but I mean, he's incredible. I think he made a play the other day in Baltimore, like a diving play turned a big double play or something. And it's just like, you get surprised, but then you're like, oh, well, he does that all the time. Like it's just incredible. I think sometimes some days you don't realize just what you're getting to watch day in and day out. And then it just kind of, he makes a play that kind of brings it back to realization that that's not normal. And
yeah,
it's incredible.
I love that you struggle for words to describe, and you get to watch him. I mean, like you work once every 5 days. You have your gig's pretty good.
Yeah,
get to sit
I get
and
to
watch
sit back
him.
and watch those guys play. But yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable, like I said, what he does on a baseball field. And, he's the same guy every day in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
He's just unbelievable. Like I said, I don't even, I don't even know what to say to describe how good he is.
All-star. All-star.
Yeah.
As are you, and hopefully the MVP this year. I hope he gets that because he's incredible, like you're saying. I like your story, Cole, because the way you get to this spot, I always look for like the journey, right? So I was like looking into that last night and this morning. And there was a time in your career, you did not throw a professional pitch for 3 years. You had back-to-back Tommy John surgeries. I want to know, like, what did that first pitch feel like after 3 years of nothing?
This is actually pretty funny. The first guy I faced in 3 years hits an absolute bomb off of me.
Who was it?
I forget his first name. His last name's Peguero. He's a shortstop with the Pirates. He's in the big leagues.
Okay.
But he's the first guy I face and hits. I think it wasn't the first pitch, but it was the first batter. I haven't played in a while. This is in high A in Greensboro, I think. I point up, thinking fly ball, and it just never comes down. And I mean, a lot of nerves. Obviously, haven't had that happen in a while. So. But now I just don't point unless it's like in front of me.
I think that's amazing because it just shows them. It's adversity, and you had to pick yourself up. And let's burn that notebook, Cole. That notebook doesn't need to be in the house. Let's chalk that one up to let's leave that one behind us. I cannot appreciate getting to know you more. Thank you for introducing yourself to NFL. Are you an NFL guy? Are you do you watch? Do you play fantasy football? No, you're a total baseball guy.
No, I've started playing fantasy football the last few years.
Okay.
So
Who's
it's
your
gotten me
quarterback?
more into watching the NFL. Last year it was Jaden Daniels.
Okay. Take that, Patrick Mahomes. Take that.
He got picked early in my draft.
Of
He got
course.
picked really early. So
I think you did okay with Jaden Daniels. Appreciate you. Good luck against the St. Louis Cardinals and the rest of the season. The strikeout king, Cole Ragans. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, Cole. Thanks, Royals.
yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Bye.